Okay, so we go here. Ghislaine Maxwell charged in Manhattan federal court, and this is July 2nd, by the way, guys, 2020. Uh, Charged in Manhattan federal court for conspiring with Jeffrey Epstein to sexually abuse a minor. So this is right after she got arrested, okay? Maxwell is alleged to have facilitated, participated in acts of abuse, additionally charged with perjury in connection with 2016 depositions. Okay, what is perjury, guys? Perjury is basically lying under oath, okay? And what is the deposition? A deposition was when they bring you in, swear you in under oath, and they take a statement from you, okay? And it's recorded, it's pre-recorded. You're typically there. They swear you in. You're there with your lawyer, hopefully. And they, which I'm surprised she even gave us. Okay, we're gonna read that in the indictment. I don't know why the hell she even talked, but we'll talk about that later on. So okay, and remember, I taught you guys how to read these things, right? So remember, number one is almost always the United States attorney that talks first, right? Then the lead agency that ran the case comes second. Okay, so in this case, you see here William F. Sweeney Jr., the assistant director in charge of the New York field office of the what? Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI. So now I know that the FBI ran this case. They were the lead agency, okay? There's no such thing. I don't give a fuck what anybody tells you guys. Let me tell y'all right now from a federal agent perspective, there's no such thing as a joint investigation. There's always one lead agency, okay? There's one primary case agent. Yes, he does have other agents that he works with that they might say it's a joint investigation, but at the end of the day, there's one affiant, there's one primary case agent. When you got to sit next to that AUSA for trial, the main case agent sits next to them. So there's always a lead agency, all right? When you do an organized crime drug enforcement task force case, an OCDF case, as they would say, there is a lead agency in that. They'll try to say it's joint, but it's not, all right? So the FBI was lead agency here. So Audrey Strauss, the acting United States attorney for the Southern District of New York. Oh, look who it is again, guys. Southern District of New York. I told y'all they are extremely aggressive. They get everybody. All right. William S. Sweeney Jr., the assistant director in charge of the New York field office of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and Dermot Shea, commissioner of the New York City Police Department, NYPD, announced that Ghislaine Maxwell was arrested this morning and charged with enticing a minor to travel to engage in criminal sexual activity, transporting a minor with the intent to engage in criminal sexual activity, conspiracy to commit both of those offenses, and perjury in connection with a sworn deposition. Okay. The indictment unsealed today alleges that between at least in or about 1994 through 1997, Maxwell and co-conspirator Jeffrey Epstein exploited girls as young as 14, including by enticing them to travel and transporting them for the purpose of engaging in illegal sex acts. And that right there, guys, is what made the case federal. Anytime you travel and affect interstate commerce, feds are coming in, baby. You know what I'm saying? As alleged, knowing that Epstein had a preference for young girls, Maxwell played a critical role in the grooming and abuse of minor victims that took place in locations including New York, Florida, and New Mexico. In addition, as alleged, Maxwell made several false statements and sworn depositions in 2016. Maxwell is expected to be presented this afternoon in federal court in New Hampshire. This case is assigned to U.S. District Judge Allison J. Nathan. Now, you guys are probably wondering, what the fuck is she doing in New Hampshire? That's where the feds caught her, guys. She was hiding out in a huge estate out there. As you guys know, she has some money. She probably still has some money left over from her situation with Epstein. I think Epstein paid her something like $30 million during the course of their relationship, and that was what the feds were able to find. And keep in mind that she came from money already from her family, had high-powered friends, etc. So it to include Prince Andrew and people like Epstein and Trump and etc. She was willing and dealing with Epstein, and she was actually a huge connection for Epstein to have these powerful relationships. Okay, so that's how they were able to find her in New Hampshire. And then anytime you get caught in another state, and I'll say this real quick, anytime you get caught in another state, guys, pretty much you're gonna, since it's federal, there's no extradition or none of this bullshit. It's federal, so they're gonna just move you to the district that you were indicted out of. You go and you see the judge in the district that you're in, and then they're gonna move you to the district you got indicted in. So I'll give you guys, you know what? I won't tell story time yet. I want to get through this. And I got Christina help me out. Can you bring me the other thingy, the other one of these from the desk? Okay. So all right. So acting U.S. Attorney Audrey Strauss said, as alleged, Ghislaine Maxwell facilitated, aided, and participated in acts of sexual abuse of minors. Maxwell enticed minor girls, got them to trust her, and then delivered them into the trap that she and Jeffrey Epstein had set. She pretended to be a woman they could trust, all the while she was setting them up to be abused sexually by Epstein and, in some cases, Maxwell herself. Today, after many years, Ghislaine Maxwell finally stands charged for her role in these crimes. And this always happens, guys. You know, the U.S. attorney and them, they always want to give a statement after, a big arrest like this. And then, obviously the director is going to say something. FBI Assistant Director William F. Sweeney Jr. said, preserving the innocence of children is among the most important responsibilities we carry as adults. Like Epstein, Miss Maxwell chose to blatantly disregard the law and her responsibility as an adult, using whatever means she had at her disposal to lure vulnerable youth into behavior they should never have been exposed to, creating the potential. Sorry here. I lost my train of thought here. Where the fuck? Creating the potential for lasting harm. We know the quest for justice has been met with great disappointment for the victims, and that reliving these events is traumatic. The example set by the women involved has been a powerful one. They preserved against the rich and unconnected, and they did so without a badge, a gun, or a subpoena, and they stood together. I have no doubt the bravery exhibited by the women involved here has empowered others to speak up about the crimes of which they've been subjected. NYPD Commissioner Dermot Shea said, the heinous crimes these charges allege are and always be abhorrent for the lasting trauma they inflict on victims. I commend our investigators and law enforcement partners for their continued commitment to bringing justice to the survivors of sexual assault everywhere. And then look at this, bro. The FBI actually put this in here. So if anyone else, was involved, they want you to call the FBI. Okay. So they're willing to add in other counts to the indictment. They're willing to do a superseding indictment.